Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about creator tools. I've got 15 creator tools that I use every single week. Now these tools save me at least 10 hours a week, if not more. And honestly, without these tools, there's no way I could put out the amount of content that I currently put out. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Kallaway and I'm a full-time content creator. I started with short form video and have quickly gained a following across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, and email newsletter. I have over 500,000 followers collectively and have generated over 1 billion video views. So these are all the tools that help supercharge that growth in my first year of creating. Now, a quick disclaimer. Yes, I do use all these tools. I will call out specifically when they're paid or when they're free. I have links in the description for all of the tools. Some of those links are affiliate links. If you choose to buy the tool and you click through my link, you'll pay the same or less that you would have paid if you went directly to the site, but I will get paid a little bit from the company. But I want to be transparent with that. Some of these are affiliate links. Okay, let's get into it. So for each tool, I'll talk about what it is, how I use it, if I pay for it and how much it costs, and what the use case would be for you to buy it and start using it. Okay, so the first one is called Autopod. Now there's a very specific use case that I use this for, and this is for auto splitting video clips. So this is the landing page right here, and Autopod comes with 3 plugins. I only use one of those plugins. The plugin is the jump cut editor. Now, there are other plugins that do this. Autopod's the one that I found. I use Premiere Pro. Ali Abdaal, if you know him, the productivity YouTuber, he has one called Firecut, which works for Final Cut and Premiere Pro as well. I haven't used Firecut, so I can't review that specifically. I'm just gonna talk about Autopod. Now, I love this thing. Now, here's an example. I'm gonna pull up Premiere Pro just to show you exactly how I use it. Now, if you're like me and you're making short form video or even long form video, you're probably gonna record multiple takes for every line or a couple lines. So what I'll typically do is I'll have a script for a short form video. Maybe there's 20 sentences. I'll read the first sentence a couple different times. So I'll read it once with high energy. I'll read it once with lower energy. And really what I'm trying to do is feel out the intonation of the line. Now, what you see on Premiere, this is an example of the raw recording that I make for a short form video. So the top is the video, the bottom is the audio. And if I were to play this through, you'd hear each sentence multiple times. Now, when I'm editing, I obviously only want one take for each sentence. And so what I would have to do is go through and delete all of the empty space between each take. Then I'd have to evaluate all the takes, pick the best take, and finish my edit. And to be honest, it took me 20 to 30 minutes every single video to remove the dead spaces. Now, a quick trick in Premiere Pro, you can actually hotkey the Q, W, E, and D with shortcut keys. I'll put them on the screen now, the shortcut keys I use for ripple edit and ripple delete. This makes it a little bit faster, but still, you're manually going through the timeline and cutting the spaces. So I did this for a year. And we're talking 30 minutes every single video, every single day for a year. That's so much time. So what I figured is there must be a plugin that would allow me to press one button and auto delete all the dead space. Autopod. That's exactly what Autopod does. So all you have to do is upload your video, upload your audio, link them together, make sure the front and back align. So you got to cut off the extra video or audio if there's an overhang. And all you have to do is bring it to the front of the timeline. You go to Window, you go to Extensions, and then here's Autopod. Now there's 3 things. They have Multicam Editor, Social Clip Creator, and Jump Cut Editor. And I'll talk about the other 2 in a second. So I press Jump Cut Editor, and what happens is this window will pop up on your screen. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pick your silence cutoff level. So you're basically telling it at what decibel level should it determine that it's silence and cut it. 50s is a little too low for my room tone, so I usually go with 35 dB. The rest I leave how it is, although you can add padding here or there depending on kind of how fine you want the cuts. And then I just press Create Jump Cuts. And it literally goes through the clip, and you'll see in a second, it's gonna go through and it's gonna cut all of the dead spaces. Now it's cutting it right now, and then it's gonna delete them for me. So right now it's cutting it, you can see them cutting it. It's gonna go through and now it's gonna delete it and it's gonna shift everything over. Now that is insane and so valuable. If you edit video, this is so valuable to have. So this is Autopod, the first one. The other things Autopod offers if you buy the product is Multicam Editor and Social Clip Creator. Social Clip Creator I don't use. I don't even know what it does. I'm assuming it auto cuts social clips for you. But Multicam Editor is extremely valuable if you have a podcast or if you edit a podcast where you have multiple camera angles. With Multicam Editor, you can literally put all of your podcast angles into one, press go, and it will auto cut it the same way as the jump cut editor, but it'll switch between cameras for you and provide you that optionality. So again, it saves you hours if you're editing a podcast. They have a 14-day free trial, which I did. Obviously, I used it one time. I was like, holy shit, this is gonna save me so much time. So I went ahead and bought the subscription, which is $29 a month. It's a little pricey, but if you edit video, especially when you do multiple takes like that, it's extremely worth it. So that's the first one, Autopod. All right, the next one is actually two tools bundled together. It's called Downie and Permute. Now, the reason you see on the screen Set App is this collection of Mac apps. I think there's dozens of apps, if not hundreds of apps in this kind of bundle, and you have to pay $9.99 a month to access the bundle. Now, there's a bunch of stuff in the bundle that doesn't actually matter, doesn't actually help you. The two apps that really do make a difference, Downie and Permute. So what is Downie? What Downie allows you to do is download the MP4 video file from any YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, any link you find on the internet. So if you edit video, you know that one of the most important things is being able to get B-roll. Sometimes you want clips from other people's videos or brand videos, or you see a tweet and there's like a 90-second video embedded, and you want a way to grab that video, turn it into an MP4 so you can put it in your timeline and start chopping it up. This is something that I use every single day when I make videos. So Downie is the easiest, most simple way to do this. Now, here's an example. Let's say I'm making a video about the Apple Vision Pro. I search Apple Vision Pro, I'm looking for a source video. Let's say this video from Apple, which is a minute long, is one that I really want to use. So all I have to do is click into the video, copy the YouTube link, and then go to Downie and then paste that link into Downie. Boom, just like that. Now, as I paste it, Downie is automatically gonna take that video, boom, it's done already. And it's gonna strip out the MP4 file. Now, all I have to do is go to my downloads folder and that MP4 file is there. I can drag it into my timeline and start chopping it up. It's literally that simple. So Downie is a magic tool if you're gonna edit video. There's a lot of other kind of like video downloading plugins, but this is the best, easiest one that I've found. It also works with Instagram, TikTok, X or Twitter, Reddit, all of the different social media platforms to download video. Now, Permute, which is kind of like its sister application, is what you use if you're trying to strip the audio from a video. So Downie gets you the MP4, and then if you need to convert that MP4 to a different type of file, MP3, you're gonna send it to Permute. Now there's a really clean link. All you have to do is, let's say I wanna get the audio just from this video. I just go into Downie, I click the ... and I press send to Permute. And I have a bunch of different options for files. So like sometimes there's videos uploaded on YouTube. When you put them in Downie, it actually doesn't export the MP4. It exports like a web page link and you have to convert that to MP4. So if that happens, I would just go to this ... go to, in this case, I'm gonna press MP3. So I press MP3, it opens Permute, which is the sister application, and begins converting, and boom, it's done. And there's the MP3, again, in your downloads folder. So if I'm looking for a backing track or I'm looking for an instrumental beat of a popular song, I'm going to YouTube, I'm grabbing the music video, I'm putting it into Downie, I'm putting it to Permute, and I'm stripping the MP3 out. All of that takes 30 seconds. It's one of the most magical video tools on the internet as far as I'm concerned. So sadly, you can't buy Downie outright. The only way to buy it is through Set App, the bundle, and you have to pay $9.99 for Set App. So I pay that every single month and I think it's completely worth it. So that's number 2 and 3, Downie and Permute. All right, the next tool is Figma. Now, if you've never used Figma, think of it like in the category, there's gonna be Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, Canva, and Figma. These are like the 3 options that you can use for graphics, pictures, text editing, kind of like all of your visual graphic design is gonna be in one of those 3. For me, I never learned how to use Photoshop. And to be honest, the program's a little clunky to me. It crashes a lot, it's very slow. And so while I could learn Photoshop, there are better options. I used to use Canva for a while. Canva is kind of like the best tool for beginners, and it has a lot of amazing functionality, but Figma is way more versatile, and I think you can use Figma for various use cases from UX design all the way to graphics. So I wanna show you specifically 2 ways that I use Figma. But basically what Figma is, it's basically an artboard in the browser. So you open a Figma file, you have this huge canvas, and you can basically do whatever you want in the canvas. So there are 2 ways that I use Figma every single day. Really more than 2, but these are the best 2. So the first thing is I create my thumbnails for Instagram, in Figma. As you can see, I make short form videos. All of these are thumbnails for videos. And every time I have a new thumbnail, I kind of come in here, I take the old thumbnail, I copy it, and then I start editing. I take a frame from my video, I import that in, I can drag text around, I can resize. If I want to treat the picture, you don't have as full of capabilities in terms of photo editing as you would like Lightroom, but you can just press image and all of a sudden I can change the exposure, I can change the contrast, I can change saturation, highlight, shadows, etc. So I'll get it how I want. And then I've got the photo kind of like lightly edited in here. And then I'll add text. Now, why I think Figma is so good is because it dumbs down the extra features that you don't need and allows you to focus specifically on actually editing the things that you do need, but it also gives you so much versatility if you're a power user. I would say I'm in the middle, but I use Figma every single day. And again, you can see these thumbnails. A lot of these are just still images with text over them. The second way I use Figma is in my videos, and I'll throw an example up here. I always put text that's kind of glowing in the background. So you can do this in Premiere Pro, but I find it easier to create this image in Figma. So let's say I have this word generative and I want to put generative glowing on a video. So I'll type generative here, which is already typed, and I can pick a different font if I want, but let's just keep the font I have. And what I'll do to make it glow is I'll just copy paste to duplicate. I'll take the bottom layer, I'll change the opacity, and I'll add a blur. And it's literally this simple. And now if I group these together, I have this glowing text. And if I zoom in, you can kind of see that it's glowing. When I put it on the video, it'll glow. So I do this 20 times a day when I'm making videos. I kind of like play with text. I play with graphics in Figma. There's so much more you can do. You can mask things. You can change the color of logos. That's another thing I do a lot. Let's say I wanted to change this signature from black to white. All I have to do is create a rectangle, draw it over it, make the rectangle white, highlight both of them, and then press this mask tool, boom, it's white. And it's just that easy. Like in Adobe Photoshop, maybe it's easier and quicker to do it if you know what you're doing, but I didn't want to take the time to learn. Figma is extremely intuitive. So I use Figma every single day. They have a very generous free trial. You can use Figma for free and get one artboard, and the canvas is massive. Like if I zoom out, you can see just how massive this canvas is. You can do a lot. I haven't even used up this full one, but if you have multiple projects and you need to have separate artboards and you need to give separate permissions to different team members, you'll probably have to pay for Figma. It's $5 per user per month. This is what I recommend for graphics. And if you don't use Figma, use Canva. All right, the next tool is Beehiiv. Now, if you're a creator or you're a business owner, the most valuable audience you can build by far is an email list, email newsletter. Why? Because most platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you don't actually own those followers. You don't actually own those subscribers. And what I mean by that is if Instagram went down or Instagram decided to shut down tomorrow, that follower list would be gone. You'd have no way to contact those people anymore. Email newsletters, on the other hand, are different. Nobody owns the email protocol. So once you have an email list, a list of email addresses, if Beehiiv decided to shut down tomorrow, you could take that list of email addresses, port it over to MailChimp or ConvertKit or another email service provider. And so because of that, owning your audience on email is extremely valuable. The second reason it's valuable is that people open email much more than they see your post on social media. I could send an email. Right here, you can see my open rate for email is 44%, meaning the 5,100 subscribers that I have for my newsletter, every time I send that, 44% of them open the email. On social media, it's not even close to this. Every single time you post on Instagram, maybe only 5 to 10% even see the post, and then of those, only a handful, 1%, 2% engage with that post. So it's night and day in terms of email versus social media, the engagement rate. So it's really important if you're a creator that you start building an email list. Now, when you build an email list, the thing you're gonna have to do is send emails to that email list to keep them warm. If you collect emails and don't do anything with them, that's fine. But if you wait a year, if someone subscribes to your email newsletter and you wait a year to send, when you send, there's a good chance they're probably gonna unsubscribe because they signed up with the intention of getting value, saw nothing from you for a long period of time, forgot about you, and then unsubscribed. So what you wanna be able to do is get people to sign up for some reason and then send them content. Now, Beehiiv is specifically designed to build an email newsletter seamlessly. And the reason I love it is all of the tools to send the emails email, but also monetize in a bunch of different ways and grow that list are all built into one platform. My newsletter is called Blueprint. If you're a content creator or entrepreneur, you'd actually probably like my newsletter. I write every single week. I call it an adventure diary. My whole goal is, what would it look like to show a transparent, unfiltered, raw look into the life and business of a full-time creator and entrepreneur. So I talk about the income that I make, the growth that I make, experiments that I run, learnings, and I share that every single week, almost like an investor letter to myself. It's got a bit of a cult following. You can see the graph is just kind of like straight up. People love Blueprint. So if you want to subscribe to it, I'll put the link below. What I want to show you is there's 3 main functionality groups that you can use in Blueprint. The first one is how you write. So these are all my posts. Within each post, I can create this really seamless template, and then I can go and write within the template. I can edit the template. I can edit directly in here. It's a very great writing experience. Again, you can design that however you want in the design lab. The second group of functionality is the growth, as I mentioned. So if you ever see a newsletter that has a referral program where you want to offer free stuff to people who refer your newsletter to others, you can build a referral program right in here. You can actually recommend other newsletters on Beehiiv. They have this amazing thing called Boosts, which I'll show you Boosts because this is kind of like they're pioneering the newsletter space. Basically how Boost works is these are all newsletters on Beehiiv that are willing to pay you to promote their newsletter to your subscribers. So for example, this is Rapid Rundown and they're paying $4.80 per subscriber that I convert. So if I wanted to have a section in my newsletter in Blueprint where I talked about Rapid Rundown, how it's the best way to get smarter in business and tech, every person that subscribed to Rapid Rundown from my newsletter, I'd get paid $4.80. And you can sign up for as many of these boosts as you want. Now, obviously, you want to make sure you don't dilute your audience by just spamming these offers all day, but this is all built into Beehiiv. And so it's a really great way to start monetizing a newsletter. Even if you only have 100 subscribers, if 10 sign up for a Rapid Rundown, there's $48. So it's an amazing way to monetize, and all of it is kind of built super seamlessly in the tracking, the payment, etc. They also have amazing segmentation tools and subscriber analysis tools so that you can figure out who's active, who's inactive, and what to do on the list. I really recommend Beehiiv. I think the 2 that I have used before is Substack and Beehiiv. In my mind, there's really 3 main players. There's Substack, Beehiiv, and ConvertKit. There's also Klaviyo if you're an e-commerce brand. If you're in e-commerce, I would recommend staying with Klaviyo. But if you're a creator trying to write a newsletter, like there's huge names on here. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Colin and Samir, a lot of them write their newsletter through Beehiiv, and for good reason, because it's probably the best platform in terms of the comprehensive features across growth, marketing, monetization, and posting. I think it's done the best job. They also ship extremely fast. So I love it. I use it. I'm launching a second newsletter soon. And Beehiiv has a free plan that you can start writing on. And then their most expensive plan is $1,000 a year. And that's how you unlock all of the monetization features. So they've really built it where you can kind of earn your way back. You can earn the 1,000 back quickly if you're doing the boosts and you grow quickly. So from an email newsletter perspective, Beehiiv's what I use. All right, the next tool is called Linktwin. Now this one is a freemium tool, so it starts free and then you can go paid if it's working. This is a little tiny tool, but extremely powerful. So what do you use Linktwin for? When you go on Instagram and you create a reel or you create a story or you have a link in bio and you're trying to go to YouTube, what happens is when someone clicks that link, if you just put the YouTube link in the button, it'll open YouTube within Instagram. It's like an embedded web page in Instagram. And there's a bunch of extra steps that someone has to go through to get to your YouTube video. So there's a really low conversion rate between a story link or a bio link for specifically from Instagram or anywhere else to YouTube. So what Linktwin does is it actually embeds YouTube in the link. And so you can see I've used this a handful of times. I had a video about Stanley Cups that went super viral on Instagram, and I made a YouTube video breaking it down. I created a story on Instagram saying, hey, go watch the YouTube video, and I used the Linktwin link to do so. And I mean, this has 325 clicks as an example, but many of those clicks, if I used a normal YouTube link, would not have converted. But because of Linktwin, they did convert because it was a much quicker process to get to YouTube. You drive more subscribers, more views, and more engagement by using Linktwin to go to YouTube than a normal YouTube link. So this is like a tiny little tool, but something I picked up recently that I think is extremely helpful. And so again, this is a freemium tool. I have not paid for it. It starts free. And then once you hit 1,000 clicks, I think you have to switch to the monthly paid version. But if you make content on YouTube and you're trying to drive people from Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn to YouTube, I'd recommend using Linktwin. All right, next is Manychat. Now, Manychat is extremely powerful. This is a new tool I just came across, but I wanted to include it because it was so effective. Now, what is Manychat? It allows you to build custom automation within Instagram. So for example, have you ever seen the videos on Instagram where someone at the end of the video, they say, hey, comment Billy down below and I'll send you my free guide. They're using Manychat. Now, what Manychat does is if you go to this automation tab, you can basically create with these drag and drop workflows, things that happen based on actions in Instagram. So for example, the way I used it, which was incredibly powerful, and I'll show you the metrics in a second, was I created, like I said, a Stanley Cup walkthrough on YouTube to basically give away my full video sauce for free, which was 45 minutes. But I wanted a way to drive people from Instagram to that YouTube video. So instead of just making an Instagram story or making an Instagram reel and just saying, hey, click my link in bio, I wanted a more direct way to drive them through because most people don't click link in bio. So I used Manychat. So what happened is I said, comment Stanley down below. And if you comment Stanley, I'll DM you the YouTube link directly. So this is when a user comments on my post and they say the word Stanley, then I reply to them in DM this message, hey, first name, here's the link to the Stanley Cup video build along, let me know what you think. And then of course, that is a Linktwin link. Remember, because if I don't put a Linktwin link in and I put a YouTube link in, it's gonna open it embedded in Instagram. So here we're stacking tools. I'm using Manychat and I'm using Linktwin inside. Now, if you look at the metrics, this one reel, which had like 100,000 views, I sent 1,600 DMs, 65% were clicked. And of the DMs that were opened, so 705 DMs were opened automatically. I didn't have to send anything. And of that, 16% clicked through to the Stanley video. So this drove like 50 to 100 views to the YouTube video, many more than it would have if I just said, hey, check out this link in bio. Nobody does that. So Manychat is a really, really sophisticated way to build automations within Instagram. Again, this is a free tool that you can start by paying the paid version if you hit the amount of sends. I think 1,000 sends, they'll do 1,000 sends for free. So of course, I was underestimating this tool, didn't buy the paid version. It hit 1,000 sends in like 2 hours. I didn't have the paid version, I unlocked it. So these numbers would have been even higher if I had unlocked the paid version first. Now you shouldn't use Manychat every single video. I think it comes off a little spammy when every video is like, hey, comment workshop, hey, comment build long, hey, comment Stanley. It seems scammy, it doesn't seem organic. So you wanna pick and choose when you use this, but this worked amazingly well. They also have all different types of templatized automations. So you can drive links from stories. You can incorporate your website. You can do giveaways. So they have built all these pre-built flows which drive people from different apps to different places automatically. So if you're on Instagram, you're making real content on you're making Reels content on Instagram, or you're a marketer and you have landing pages or you have lead magnets, I would recommend using Manychat to kind of automate that workflow. All right, the next two are kind of link in bio tools. The first one is Beacons, beacons.ai. The next is Linktree. Right now I'm using both. I'm testing out both. Beacons is what I'm using for my personal stuff. So if you go to the Kallaway Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, you're gonna see this Beacons link. And I like Beacons because they're embedding multiple different groups of functionality. So you can see for my like homepage, I'm embedding links, and then I have like a YouTube section where I have text and I'm pointing to the latest YouTube video. I come in and switch this every episode. But they also have like, if you wanted to build your kind of like landing page website, you could do that in here. You could build a media kit in here. They have a lot of like great metrics around your post activity. So I think Beacons is kind of like a holistic approach. The design functionality is really seamless. I think it's simple but effective. You can pick multiple different options. So I like Beacons a lot. I think I'm on the free plan. Their paid plan I think is $15 a month. I don't think you need to pay unless you're using their like sales functionality. Now, I also use Linktree. So Beacons, Linktree, kind of two different options. We use Linktree for the Weekends podcast. So you can see this kind of base Linktree format. We have the latest episode, we have our audio channels, and we're just playing with different options to try to see what's better. Linktree, again, it's free. They have a paid $6 a month plan, but to be honest, you can get away with the free. If you really had to remove the Linktree branding, I think you could pay $6 a month, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. It's really good to have at least one of these in your bio if you have multiple links. I personally think people click on non-Linktree Beacons links if you just have one. So if you really want to drive traffic, just in your Instagram, just put a YouTube link. But if you have multiple things you want to link together, or you want to have like a common design aesthetic, or you want to kind of manage it, I think it's helpful to have either Beacons or Linktree. I'd recommend Beacons personally. That'd be the one that I go with. Those are kind of two different options for link in bio tools. All right, the next tool is not really a software tool, it kind of is, but it's called Brick. It's this thing. Now, I talk about Brick a lot. I use it every single day. It's one of my favorite tools. Here's basically what it is. I want to be able to turn off my social media. Now, right now I have two options to do this. I can either leave my phone at home, like if I'm going on a walk or working out or going to bed, I don't want to be on social media. So I can either leave my phone at home or in another room, or I can use Apple's screen time functionality. If you ever used Apple's screen time functionality, it's trash. You literally go through, press one button, you can bypass it. And if you leave your phone at home, you miss out on the camera and the maps, like all the utilities that come with being a phone. So both of those kind of suck. Brick is a perfect solution in the middle. And this is not a paid ad. I love this product. So what Brick is, think of this like a key in a lock. You have two versions of your phone. You have the normal version with all your apps, and then you go into the Brick app and you create a bricked version. And a bricked version has a list of apps that you cannot access if it's bricked. To brick it, you take the physical brick, you touch your phone, now it's bricked. Now I can't use social media. So what I do is I take the brick and I go to another room with the brick. I keep my phone on me, but I put the brick in another room, or I leave the brick at home. No matter how badly I want to get on social media, I can't get on it unless I have the physical brick to touch it. If I want to unbrick my phone, I touch it again. So what I've been doing is I'll keep my phone next to me in bed, or when I'm working out, I'll have my phone for music, but I'll brick it and I'll leave the brick at home, this physical brick device. Love this product. It's $49 or $44 if you use the code below. Again, not sponsored. I got a code from them because I knew I was going to promote it and love it, and I wanted people to be able to save money. So get brick.app if you want to check it out. But this is a tool that I use every single day. All right, the next tool, this is going to be a quick one. It's called Eyecandy, and make sure you check out the domain name, eyecandy.com. So Eyecandy is just a really good site for visual references in terms of visual effects. So you can see there's these zoom ins, there's these crazy transitions, crash zoom. So you can basically go into the search bar and you can search, let's just search like low angle, and you can search for like a variety of different styles of shots. So like this is what a low angle shot looks like. Now, if you're a videographer or filmmaker, you can use these shots to kind of like storyboard your stuff out. Again, I don't use this all the time, but I think this is a helpful little free site to have in your back pocket if you're trying to find like visual references. All right, the next tool is Google Earth Studio. I love this thing. I'm mind blown by it. I came across it like 4 weeks ago. Have you ever seen those drone videos that are over cities where they almost like fly through cities? I've always seen those and wondered like how people got FPV permission if they're not Hollywood studios. Like how do people get permission to film these? Well, the way they film them is Google Earth Studio, which is a free tool. In order to get access, you have to apply. So go to earth.google.com and like apply for Google Earth Studio privileges. You'll fill out a couple questions. They'll approve you, and then you'll get it in a day. And this tool is amazing. It's like an immersive 3D map of the world. Now, you can go into a blank project and like fumble around with it and try to figure out how to map the camera motion, or you can do what I think is the better way and go to their quick starts. So they have these 4 different quick start options. Let's just go to orbit, for example. So if you want to like orbit around an object or a location in the world. So let's just say like the Statue of Liberty. So this is the Statue of Liberty. You can use your scroll wheel to zoom in. If you hold Option and drag, you can actually change the pitch of the camera. So like there's Manhattan. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of like, this is a quick start. So we'll be able to quickly orbit, and we're going to kind of pinch in, get it to where we want it. And then we're going to press go. And now all of a sudden we're orbiting the Statue of Liberty. Now, this is like, this quick start allowed us to do this, really fast. We can change the altitude. We can change how far out we are. We can change the target altitude, whatever, change the parameters, and then go. So this is like in 10 seconds, we created like a really cool little speedy twist around the Statue of Liberty. Now, Google Earth Studio is so powerful. Like I'll put over some examples of people flying through the city streets. There's a million ways to customize this. I recommend if you're interested in this and using this in your videos, go to YouTube and search Google Earth Studio tutorials. I'm going to put a tutorial together as well, so you can subscribe and check out for that. I love this thing. It's free. Everyone should be using it. All right, the next one is a quick tool. It's called Playphrase.me. This is very simple, but super powerful. So what you can do is just search for any phrase or word and it will look up movie clips that have it. So if I say like, howdy partner, and search it, these are all the movies that have howdy partner. You know, at the bottom right, it's showing all the names of the movies and where they're from. So like Night of the Comet, I've never heard of that before, but the reason you would use this is because it allows you to find movie clips. And if you're trying to put together audio or trying to find like interesting memes or GIFs that go with what you're saying, use this, find it, and then you can actually download the video clips that talk about that specific phrase here. Again, free tool. Maybe you have only a certain amount of generations per month, but like if you need it for 1 or 2 use cases, super easy to use, free. Keep that one in your arsenal as well. All right, the next tool is called Riverside.fm. This is what I use for remote podcasts. So if you're having a remote podcast with anyone who's not in person with you, that's what remote is. Roberto and I do this for weekends. He's in Charlotte, I'm in San Diego. Use Riverside. Enough said. If you're using Zoom, you're probably giving up quality. Riverside lets you record in 4K with top quality audio, export super easy. You're able to create spaces and send the guest link. It's honestly what all the pros use. It's the best tool to use. There's a free plan. There's also an $8 a month and $24 a month, depending on the amount of hours per week that you're recording. So I would start with the free one and kind of like climb up. But if you're recording a remote podcast, just use Riverside. It's the best tool. All right, the next tool is a sleeper. It's a newer one. I bet you haven't heard of it, but I love it. It's called Topaz AI. The website's topazlabs.com. Now, Topaz AI has 2 main products. They have Topaz Photo and Topaz Video. Now, Topaz used AI to create the best quality upscale model for both photo and video that I've ever seen. I'm gonna show you the photo. This is their website. On the left, this is commonly what you see on the internet from the compression. If you're not the one taking this picture of the tiger, you see this like pixelated type image. On the right, this is post Topaz AI processing. It uses AI to fill in the pixels to create a much more clear image. So I wanna show you how Topaz works because it's honestly pretty mind-blowing. So what we're gonna do is let's pull up Topaz. They have photo and video. I've bought them both, but I haven't used video yet because it takes a lot longer to process. The photo is unbelievably quick. So here is the photo. I've got this picture of Taylor Swift from the Super Bowl saved. So I'm just gonna drag that into Topaz. So this is the picture. On the left is the original and on the right is the post-processing. It hasn't processed yet. So see how it's pixelated? Right now, Topaz is working to upscale it, and in a second, it will have it done. See there, it's done. So on the left is Pixel, on the right is Topaz. I mean, that's night and day difference. Now, from a far enough distance zoomed out, you're not gonna be able to tell, but if you're looking for the highest quality or you're gonna zoom into these images, you don't want these blurry, grainy images on the screen. It just creates like a really bad visual effect. Topaz, in 2 seconds, I was able to immediately upscale this completely. And it just does an amazing job. It's like a magic tool. You can upscale, you can remove noise in the photo, you can sharpen the photo. It can even bring back a face that's blurry. And all you have to do is put that in there. You saw it took 5 seconds and save the image. So I love this thing. The photo product is $199 one-time cost. The video product is $299 one-time cost. Again, I haven't used the video, but from what I hear, it's an amazing upscaler. You can also like add slow motion in clips where you didn't capture it because it's using AI to create the additional frames. It just creates way crisper images and videos using AI. So it's one of a kind product. I'd make sure to check that out. All right, the next one is called Remove.bg. This is very straightforward. If you need to remove the background on an image, use this. Again, we'll take the Taylor Swift photo that we just had. We drop that in there. Here's Taylor with the background. Bang, there's Taylor without the background. Now, the way you stack these tools is if you pay for Remove.bg per credit, which is a ripoff, it'll export in 1024 677, so much higher quality. If you don't pay for it, you're only able to download in 614 406, so it's pretty low quality. But if you stack these tools, that's what I do. So I download this, get her without the background, and then I go to Topaz AI and I will, or you can do the reverse. You could take Topaz and then remove the background, but I'll go to Topaz AI and I'll just drag this in, and now it's in there without the background. It's upscaling, it's processing, and bang, there it is. So you can see the left is the original image, the downsampled or downscaled Remove.bg, kind of crappy. The right is super upscaled. So there you go. So I stack these tools all the time. I use this combination, Remove.bg and Topaz, all day long. All All right, the last tool I want to talk about is Midjourney. Now, this is an AI image generation tool. You can only use it inside of Discord. So if you don't know Discord, you kind of have to learn Discord and Midjourney to be able to use it. But Midjourney is extremely, extremely powerful. I want to show you an example. I use Midjourney for the thumbnail images and the in-post images in my newsletter. I sometimes generate images that I put in videos using Midjourney. It's one of the most powerful tools. If you're using video AI, you can generate anything you want in Midjourney and then animate it in something like Runway ML. So it's very, very powerful stack. Let me just show you how it works. So once you're signed up for Midjourney, you go to Discord, you go to the Midjourney bot, you type \imagine, and then you just paste your prompt. Midjourney prompts, if you guys want, if you comment, I'll make a whole video on how I think about Midjourney and how I structure prompts. So let me know if you want that below. Just a quick version is Midjourney prompts is like a series of phrases separated by commas and different parameters. That's all you have to do. So here I've got, the first phrase is what you want. So a creator looking out through a window over a beautiful landscape. I want it cinematic. I want it animated. I want it super detailed, shot from behind, perfect framing. Chaos 20 means like it'll be 20% different than like a standard photo. It'll be kind of like, it introduces some variability. And then aspect ratio 16:9, version 6 of Midjourney. There's a whole like way you frame prompts in Midjourney that's not super intuitive today. So again, if you guys want that, I'll make a video about how I use it and like the different parameters. This guy, Nick Floats, is a really good follow for this. So make sure to follow him. But basically it's as simple as that. It takes anywhere from, 20 to 30 seconds to create the image. And what's gonna end up happening is it'll make a window of 4 options. And you can either rerun the whole request, you can either remix one of the 4, you can either pick one and then upscale it. So what I typically do is it comes up with pretty good options. Right now it's at 70% and you're probably wondering like, wow, these are gonna be pretty out of focus, but it's amazing how quickly they get in focus. So all of these are pretty cool. I think the one on the bottom right is pretty cool. So I'd press that one, that's U4, and I'd upscale number 4, and then bang, I have that image. So if you're using AI, Midjourney is the best, and this is what I would use. I think I pay $30 a month for Midjourney. They have an $8 a month plan, and I think maybe a $24 a month plan. So maybe I pay $24 a month. But if you're looking to create net new images from scratch, you can pretty much replicate any style, and it's an amazing tool, to be honest. All right, so that wraps up. That's 15 tools. Now, I didn't want to make a video where I was just pumping tools that I was an affiliate of. These are all tools that I use every single week. They save me, honestly, 10 to 20 hours, and there's no way that I would be able to create the content with the quality and the velocity that I create without using these tools. So if you're a creator, entrepreneur, give these a try. If you have a pain point that I described, these are definitely the tools that you should check out. And if you're a creator, entrepreneur, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I make videos all the time about ways that I'm up-leveling my workflow, increasing productivity, trying to make more content, think more strategically about the content to help grow my business. So if that's what you're interested in, make sure to subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.